But
Thor.
My God.
I'm sorry I brought up that dirty game.
But like, they didn't always used to be, and every now
that was
and
the
again,
last one.
Well, yeah, because Star
was the
Wars,
last of the Mohicans.
Well, the thing about it is, Star Wars games have kind of had a very special place in like video game history, because like there was the X-Wing game.
There was X-Wing, there was TIE Fighter, there was the Star Wars arcade.
Yeah.
And then there was like the Star Wars on the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. Star Wars has basically been around since video games has.
Yeah, basically.
And they basically grew up coincided with each other. There's been hit and misses, but that's the same with the video game market.
Yeah. And
which is a very interesting conversation in itself.
Yeah, well, and talking about like the place that it has in video game history, Dark Forces came out like the year after Doom.
Yeah,
like that's one of the Doom clones, one of the first quintessential first-person shooters from back in the day. Because like basically at that point we had Wolfenstein and Doom, and then Dark Forces came along and like, what if we did that, but Star Wars,
which I'm playing because I got like the Star Wars collection. I think like almost a year ago, and I'm playing the original Dark Forces, and it's a great game.
Yeah,
like it's hard, but it's a '90s shooter game. It's a '90s first-person shooter. It's honestly easier than Doom because it's got like the Wolfenstein lives. So like if you die, you're not dead, and you have to start all over. Like they give you a bit of mercy.
Yeah. Just a bit.
Yeah.
Before they rip your gizzard out.
Yeah. Oh, you died? Well, all the weapons you have are gone, but you still have the E11 blaster rifle.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, licensed games are typically terrible, and we usually write them off as that, but like back in the day, like Star Wars games were part of video games.
Yeah, I mean they were like always, and then after the prequels happened and like The Force Unleashed happened and The Force Unleashed 2, Star Wars games kind of ended.
Yeah.
And like 1313 was on the way, but then the Disney acquisition happened. LucasArts was shut down, which makes me really sad and mad. Because
think about it this way, okay? Like if they shut down that project, right? Like they shut down LucasArts and they canceled all the projects, but they had to have looked at them. Like I feel like they probably took a look at what they were doing, and honestly, if what they were working on was all that great, they probably wouldn't have shut it down. So try and take comfort in that thinking.
But at the same time,
it would have been nice to see what 1313 was, but we just don't know what that game was going to be.
I think it was going to be like Boba Fett's storyline.
No, it was going to be a Boba Fett game, but like we didn't really know like
it was like from what I saw in the gameplay trailer that they did.
Yeah,
it was going to be like a very Nathan Uncharted type of feel to it, to where you've got like the parkour and the shooting and whatnot,
which I would like, but as the first Uncharted game shows, that can be done a little bit wrong.
But at the same time, like during that gameplay trailer, like it's both a good and bad thing, but there was no visible transition from cinematic to gameplay,
which is cool. Yeah.
Which
is
why did they stop that?
Yeah. Which is something we're starting to get in games now, finally.
But I think that is because, like, if you've ever noticed, Star Wars is not just a trendsetter in movies, but it's a trendsetter in video games as well.
Yeah.
Because like when we got X-Wing, we got a lot of flight simulators.
Yeah.
Like when the Star Wars arcade game happened, we got a lot of those like big rig arcade games that you would like sit in
that are so expensive to run and maintain.
Yeah,
but they make quarters.
Yeah, they pay for themselves.
Yeah,
like we got a bunch of those.
Yeah, and then like, people stopped playing them, and then they got rid of them.
I think like Paradise Park here still has the Star Wars arcade game.
Oh really?
Uh-huh.
Oh god.
Because like
we need to go over there.
We need to go play that. But
be the guys that look 40.
Yeah, we'll be those idiots. Yeah. But then like Star Wars Battlefront happened, and like the squad-based and team-based shooters, like for multiplayer purposes, suddenly boomed.
Yeah.
And hell, even movie licensed games. I'm not sure if a lot of people played this one, but Star Wars Obi-Wan, which also had like really cool lightsaber combat because you controlled the lightsaber with the right stick.
Ooh.
And moved around with like the left.
We're bringing it full circle. That's what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's what this video is sort of about.
Holy crap!
But we kind of turned it into another video as well.
Yeah.
But like it happened, and like movie licensed games happened all over again.
Yeah.
Like because since then, like the video game crash, and then like the rise of Nintendo happened, and we didn't really get a lot of movie based games. I feel like.
Yeah,
like
not too many Star Wars games.
Yeah, like Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had like a few of them, but they weren't like big yet. And then the prequels happened. Star Wars Obi-Wan happened on the original Xbox with the Duke controller that I couldn't hold. That thing was massive.
I came into the Xbox after they got rid of that monster thing.
I wish I still had the Duke. I want to find the Duke and just put it up on the wall, like the struggles.
Yeah, there's a great I think it was actually a promo for the Xbox that like shows the big ass Xbox controller like peeking over the Earth, and I'm just like, that is an accurate representation of how big that Xbox controller was.
Yeah, but
it's just like, what if we filled up your whole hands?
And then like unfortunately, like Outcast didn't really set a trend. I think like it kind of happened, and it happened, and it was like its own thing, which is really cool. And then Revenge of the Sith happened, and the movie licensed games had like another boom, but they weren't good.
Yeah.
So it was like,
and they haven't been good since.
Yeah, there hasn't been any.
There haven't been
like,
any.
Besides Star Wars, but
the Star Wars
like
game,
Star Wars isn't hardly even a movie-based video game anymore. It's just like its own franchise.
Well, here's the thing, though.
I probably should mention before people get really mad. Knights of the Old Republic set up like all Western RPGs since.
Thank you, BioWare.
Thank you.
Thank you, BioWare.
Thank you, BioWare, for being so beautiful.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Like, why? Let me tell you why they work so well. Because they're not really movie games. It's like you can think of them as a movie game, but you don't have to, because so few of them are actually based on the movie. Like they're all their own. They're all telling their own story and doing their own thing, which I think is kind of the quintessential thing with making a good licensed game. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor is a recent thing.
Yeah,
that we can talk about, because the Lord of the Rings games have been good, but like they did fall off there after licensed games stopped being good, and
because they were like afraid. Because they couldn't do anything because nobody would buy movie licensed games.
Yeah. And then Monolith was like, what if we
don't do Lord of the Rings, but we have something set in Middle Earth?
Yeah.
And they call it Middle Earth: Shadows of Mordor, not Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Which
I love.
I wanna talk about that for a second and get off topic.
We always do that. We're still off topic. This video is supposed to be about lightsaber combat video games.
I know.
Now we're talking about Lord of the Rings, but we love it all. That video's not even up yet.
You know why You know why that game feels so much like Batman?
Because it's Batman.
Because it's Batman, but that Monolith was actually originally making a video game based in the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
Mm-hmm.
They were making a actual movie game, and then Nolan pulled out. So they're like, what if we made a Lord of the Rings game and made it our own thing? And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like taking your lemons and making the best lemonade possible out of it. Not just like, it's not even taking lemons and making lemonade. It's taking lemons and making raspberry lemonade.
Yeah,
because like they're just like, what if we took another WB property and
shove it in,
made this good?
Yeah, like sort of going off of the, like, it's not necessarily a movie-based game. Like, Star Wars Shadows over the Empire.
Yeah.
On the N64 also changed how, like, N64 games and, like, 3D worlds and video games worked.
Mm.
Because you had, like, the jetpack and whatnot in there.
Yeah.
But that game was... That game is based on a book set in the Star Wars universe. So, like, it's crazy how like, ridiculously, because the expanded universe, like the old EU for Star Wars,
yeah,
was massive, and it still is for those people that want to. Sorry, I got excited. Is like massive for the people that like still consider it canon, because there's like what 30 or more years of like continual world building from all these different people with all these different ideas put into this one universe, and it all worked together,
yeah,
which makes a lot of people happy. But it also like set into all these different ideas, because BioWare set like 3,000 years in the past before Star Wars, and that's like the whole Knights of the Old Republic era, and that's how the universe is.
Yeah.
And that was a video game, not a movie, not a obscure book somewhere in the middle of like Barnes and Noble clearance section.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very, very well-selling video game.
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic, for those of you that haven't caught on yet. There's always a few, because I ramble.
Yeah.
So it's just a really interesting thing, that how Star Wars has not just like grown up with video games, but has like subtly manipulated it.
Yeah.
Oh God, George Lucas is the Emperor.
Yeah. Not gonna deny that, but like it's crazy, because like we were actually talking earlier about kind of like the differences between the George Lucas directed Star Wars movies, mm-hmm. and Empire
Empire and Return of the Jedi,
Empire and Return of the Jedi
weren't actually directed by George Lucas.
Yeah,
they were directed by other people.
Yeah, the only
what
one
they were doing.
The only one in the original trilogy that was directed by George Lucas was the first one, which we were talking about this. You said that George Lucas decided that Star Wars was going to be kind of a world-building franchise.
Was going to be a world-building franchise, and that the reason why people would go to watch it is for like all the special effects and like the world itself.
Yeah.
And the prequels happened.
Which I personally disagree with, but the director of Empire wanted to focus on characters.
The director of Empire believed that people wanted to go to see Star Wars to see like their favorite characters go through storylines and whatnot. And
to see Han Solo go through storylines and whatnot.
Well, he was supposed to die.
There are no other characters.
he was gonna die.
Yeah.
The reason why they put him in carbonite was because they were like, is Harrison coming back for the next movie?